This is the Read Your Bible Challenge, and we are now on Genesis chapter 6. The previous chapter pretty much started out with us going down a lineage of Seth, who, again, his name just means a replacement or a substitute, which, he was a substitute or replacement of Abel, his former sibling. And yeah, we read through the lineage of Seth, and we got to it ended with a man named Noah who was born, who had three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So now we're going to pick up in Genesis chapter 6, and let's go ahead and actually move right into it, and let's go ahead and get into it. So it says, Genesis chapter 6. When men began to multiply on the face of the land and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out man whom I have created from the face of the land, man and animals, and creeping things, and birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God. And Noah had three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. And God saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you are to make it. The length of the ark, 300 cubits. Its breadth, 50 cubits, and its height, 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above. And set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. For behold, I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark. You, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh, you shall bring two of every sort into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female, of the birds according to their kinds, and of the animals according to their kinds, of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind. Two of every sort shall come in to you to keep them alive. Also, take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and store it up. It shall serve as food for you and for them. So Noah did this. He did all that God commanded him. Okay, so wow, this was another interesting chapter. Things are just unfolding in an interesting way. So yeah, so in the in the beginning of this chapter, we read that we have uh, these this group of people known as the sons of God. Um, and yeah, so it's saying that these sons of God, they took wives from the daughters of man. So this definitely seems like these are two different types of beings or of people, right? We have the daughters of man, which we know are human beings, but then we have this group called the sons of God, which is a bit mysterious because we don't really. This is probably the first time we're actually reading um, about a group of people known as the sons of God. Okay, so I think that that's pretty interesting. Who exactly were these people? Um, it says, so in verse 4, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of man and they bore children to them. So it looks like came, the Nephilim were basically the offspring of the sons of God uh, procreating with the daughters of man. So they bore these the Nephilim, and I'm actually going to. So in here it says or giants because the Hebrew here, I guess, indicates that these were giants. These were giant people, you know. And I find that interesting because there's a little bit of like crossovers with other concepts that we see in other cultures. Like, we know in like Greek mythology, we read about the Titans, right? We read about these giants that existed. So I find that very interesting, that here in Genesis chapter 6, we're reading about giants who were on the earth in those days, and they were the offspring of the sons of God procreating with the daughters of man. So there's a lot of like, interesting mythical kind of things happening here that is pretty interesting. And, I wonder, what all this is going into. Um, Another thing here is that in verse 3, it says, then the Lord said, my spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. So this is an indication that God is planning on shortening the lifespan of mankind, and that's pretty significant because 120 years is very, very smaller compared to what we read in Genesis chapter 5. We had, some of these men were living up to 900, 60 plus years. So now mankind's lifespan is being shortened to 120 years. Um, Man, so a lot of this is, very interesting. I could go more in depth with this, but I want to kind of pause here and allow you to read and ponder on this chapter on your own. And again, what we're going to do is on the weekends, we're going to do a weekly recap on all the chapters that we've read. I didn't do it last weekend because we only read about 3 chapters at that point. Um, so uh, I wanted it to kind of I wanted us to go through a couple more chapters before we did actual recap. So this time we'll have a lot of chapters to summarize and just take a step back to look at the full picture that's being painted as we're analyzing these chapters. And also, I'll share a couple more things that answers to questions that I may have, and other details that I may have discovered over the week as I've been looking more into what these chapters are getting into. Right, like for example, the sons of God. Who exactly were these people? Were they humans? Were they celestial beings? As we, read in Genesis chapter 2, we were introduced to the cherubim, which when we looked into the lexicon, they were listed as celestial beings, right? Heavenly beings who would, exist with God. So could the sons of God be referring to celestial beings, or is it referring to humans who walked with God? Right? Like we read that Noah walked with God. We read that Enoch walked with God. So could this be what could this be humans? So looking into that, answering that, and bringing out any answers or information that I may have discovered. And again, I'm not saying I'm 100% correct. I don't have all the answers. These are answers that I've found, and I would like for you all to engage the conversation. If you want to tune in, do so and leave your comments. If you have any articles or links to information that can go more in depth on these things, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was another episode of the Read Your Bible Challenge. Again, if you're not doing so, I would challenge you to do the Read Your Bible Challenge as well. We're just reading a chapter of the Bible a day. Simple as that. Um, and pondering on that chapter, right? Thinking about everything you read about that chapter, doing some research for the day to find out any further details on questions you may have, or just trying to find answers to questions you have, or looking into things deeper throughout the day on that based on that chapter. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in again. I will be dropping another episode of the Read Your Bible Challenge tomorrow, so stay tuned. And thank you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.